Please stop. Her voice barely rose above the wind sweeping across the dry prairie, but it cut deeper than a scream. The rancher froze for half a second, long enough for the moment to feel endless, then did something that would leave an entire town stunned. Before I continue, listen closely, because what happens next will change the way you see power, mercy, and courage forever. If stories that hit the heart matter to you, make sure you like this video and subscribe, because this one stays with you long after it ends. The sun hung low over the open land, painting the grass gold as the rancher knelt beside the woman lying motionless on the ground. His hat cast a shadow over eyes that had seen too much in one lifetime. She was young, dressed in torn, dust-stained fabric, her arms spread as if surrendering to the sky itself. The horse stood a few yards away, reins loose, watching silently like a witness that would never forget. The town had warned him about her, said she was trouble, said she brought shame, said she didn't deserve help. Whispers had followed her wherever she went, growing uglier each day. When she collapsed near his land, half the town expected him to do what others had done before, turn away. But the rancher wasn't like the stories they told about him. As he placed a steady hand on her shoulder, memories flooded back. His sister begging for help years ago, the town choosing silence instead. That silence had buried her. The woman's eyes fluttered open, fear rushing in as she saw him towering above her. "Please stop," she whispered again, not knowing if he was there to help or to finish what the world had started. Around them, the prairie felt too open, too exposed, as if the land itself was holding its breath. The rancher stood, dust clinging to his boots, and looked toward the distant town. He knew what they expected. He knew what they would say if he didn't comply with their unspoken rule. People like her don't get second chances. His jaw tightened. Then, slowly, deliberately, he went through with it. He lifted her, not roughly, not gently either, but with resolve, placing her carefully across his arms. Anyone watching from afar would have misunderstood everything, and that misunderstanding would soon shake the town to its core. He carried her toward his horse, ignoring the sting of old judgment burning in his chest. She tried to speak again, but exhaustion stole her voice. As he mounted the horse, holding her close to keep her from slipping, he whispered words no one had said to her in a long time. "You're safe. I won't leave you here." The ride back felt longer than any journey he'd taken. Dust rose behind them like a signal flare, drawing eyes, questions, and soon anger. When they reached the edge of town, people gathered, some shocked, some furious, others simply curious. They expected a public lesson, a final punishment. What they got instead would redefine the rancher forever. He rode straight past them, not stopping, not explaining, his face set like stone. The woman stirred, tears sliding silently into his shirt as she realized he hadn't gone through with what she feared, but something far braver. And as the town watched him disappear down the road, a quiet realization spread. This story wasn't going to end the way they wanted. The town didn't sleep that night. Rumors moved faster than the wind across the plains. Some said the rancher had lost his mind. Others said he was hiding something. No one spoke about the truth, that compassion scares people more than cruelty ever could. By morning, the woman lay resting in the small cabin on the edge of the ranch, wrapped in clean blankets, her wounds treated with care she had never known. When she woke, sunlight streamed through the window, warm and unfamiliar. For the first time in years, she wasn't afraid of what came next. The rancher sat at the table, hat resting beside him, eyes heavy but calm. He told her she could stay as long as she needed. No conditions, no debt, just time to heal. Word reached town leaders by noon, and by sunset, they came knocking, faces tight with forced concern. They accused him of defying tradition, of embarrassing the town, of protecting someone they had already condemned. He listened without interrupting, then stood and spoke quietly but firmly. He reminded them that traditions built on cruelty were nothing worth preserving, that the town's silence had already taken too many lives, and that if standing up for one broken woman made him their enemy, he would wear that title with pride. The woman overheard everything from the doorway, tears streaming freely now, not from fear, but from disbelief. Someone had chosen her. Days turned into weeks. Strength returned to her body, then to her voice. She began helping around the ranch, not because she was asked, but because she wanted to. Slowly, the town's tone changed. A few avoided the ranch altogether. Others came quietly, bringing food, offering apologies they didn't know how to say out loud. One afternoon, a young girl arrived with her mother, both standing exactly where the woman had once fallen. The girl looked up at the rancher and asked if it was true he helped people no one else would. He nodded once. That moment traveled further than any rumor ever had. By the time the season changed, the town was different. Not perfect, but awake. The woman stood at the edge of the prairie one evening, wind lifting her hair, strength steady beneath her feet. She thanked the rancher, not for saving her life, but for reminding her it was worth living. He tipped his hat, unable to speak past the tightness in his chest. And somewhere behind them, the town watched, knowing it had witnessed something rare. A man who chose mercy when cruelty was easier, and changed everything because of it. If this story moved you, don't let it end here. Like this video, subscribe, and share it, because stories like this deserve to be heard.